Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas being joined with Tom Loeffler. And Tom, you're putting on a show this weekend, HBO's final show. I know it's a task, I guess, a big responsibility that you're the promoter that's going to put on the very last show that we're going to see on that network. What are some of the feelings that you've been experiencing going through this week and leading up to the fight on Saturday?
It's pretty emotional. When I did the math, it's 25 years since the first fighter that I had on HBO, Kevin Kelly, when he first won the WBC Featherweight Championship against Goya Vargas. And so many great champions over the years with Triple G, with the Klitschko brothers, Shane Mosley, with James Toney, Obakar, Jonathan Banks. The list goes on and on. Chocolatito Gonzalez, and now Cecilia Brækhus being headlining HBO. So it's an honor to be involved with the last show of HBO, but like we said at the press conference, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of their 45-year history. Tremendous platform to launch stars on HBO, and we're excited for StubHub Center. We had a great show in LA last week. We want that momentum to carry over for this show here at the StubHub Center.
When you look at those 25 years that you've been a part of this crazy world called boxing and the fighters that have been highlighted that were yours on HBO, which one fight sticks out the most for you, or the most memorable one for you that you were personally involved in?
I tell you, it's hard. There's so many great fights, between the Hamed Kelly fight at Madison Square Garden, 6 knockdowns in 4 rounds, when Kevin Kelly knocked out Derek Gainer with a closed eye, completely shut eye, and then the Lennox Lewis Vitaly Klitschko fight at Staples Center. That was a tremendous heavyweight championship fight, probably the most exciting I've ever witnessed, over 6 rounds. Vitaly had one of the worst cuts I've seen, but was winning the fight. So I'd say that sticks out because it was a heavyweight championship fight at Staples Center on HBO for the WBC heavyweight championship fight. That was such a memorable fight. Both guys took that on short notice, and they really delivered for the fans.
Speaking of heavyweights, I'm going to go skid off a bit. Who'd you see winning the Fury-Wilder fight?
I had Fury winning, but look, you got to give credit for both guys. Both guys raised their profiles tremendously. Deontay Wilder knocked him down twice. I didn't think Fury was going to get up when
none of us did when he hit the canvas.
When he went down, you got to give Jack Reese credit. A lot of referees would have gotten nervous. They would have waved off the fight the way Fury went down, all 6-9 of them. But then all of a sudden he woke up, he got up, and actually won the last part of that round. So I just gave him the majority of the rounds. I had him winning I think it was by 2 points. But look, you can't take anything away from both guys. Deontay showed that not only does he have knockout power in the beginning of the fight, he has knockout power in the 12th round. Fury showed, after all the trials and tribulations that he went through, he was the only person, or the first person, to unseat Vladimir Klitschko from his historic heavyweight championship run. So you got to give Fury credit, beating Vladimir in Germany, coming to the United States. Whether it was a draw, whether you thought Fury won or Wilder, it was a great fight, and I think it just elevates the sport of boxing. Those are the type of events that are great for the sport of boxing, and we're looking forward to carry that momentum here in Los Angeles for this Saturday.
You got to get yourself a heavyweight, but you do have a fighter that...
I had a couple of heavyweight champions, and we actually hold the record for the most heavyweight championship fights in this century, in 2000. So between Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, we had so many heavyweight championship title defenses. It's great, but you can't go wrong with the heavyweights. It's an exciting division. The excitement is now there because the guys are fighting each other, and if Anthony Joshua fights either one of them, it'll be a tremendous fight.
Got a Mexican heavyweight for you. It's my uncle Pancho, 250. He can scrap though. You have a fighter that hits like a heavyweight in Gennady Golovkin. So, from the news, it said that he had a meeting last week. Can you confirm that? Was that in fact did happen?
He's had a bunch of meetings. Yeah. He's the most in-demand television free agent right now. Arguably, from our perspective, he won both of the Canelo fights. We didn't get the judges to go our way. There was controversy over the Wilder and Fury fight. There was controversy over the 2 Triple G Canelo fights. All three of those were great for the sport of boxing. You know, Gennady has a tremendous fan base, international fan base wherever he goes, whether we're in China, whether in Mexico City, whether in New York, Madison Square Garden, you know, Monte Carlo where he fought. He sold out the O2 Arena. I mean, wherever he goes, you know, he was just in Barcelona with Messi over there. So wherever he goes, he gets a great reaction from the fans. And
how was that reaction with the meeting? Did it go well? Like, a lot of fans are curious to see like where he's going to end up.
There's so much speculation on what he's going to do. I'm not going to comment on it. He's going to make the final decision. You know, he's taken a lot of control over his career. So, you know, at this point, any type of comments from me, it just will lead. Anything I say just leads to speculation from the media. So I'm not going to comment at all on the meetings, on the negotiations, on like who's the front runner. All I can tell you is that everyone is interested in Ggg, and he'll make the decision of what he wants to do.
How close are we to a decision from him?
Well, again, that depends on what he decides to do. I do know he wants to fight sometime April, May of next year. So, you know, when he feels comfortable, you know, he'll decide what direction, and he'll decide what he wants to do.
Given from your dealings with him, what's most appealing for him? Like, what's his vision? What is he looking for from whoever he partners with?
Look, I think he put so much excitement into the sport and so much sacrifice. All those hard, grueling training camps up in Big Bear, California. He's just literally looking for the best deal, the platform that will offer him what he's looking for, or not even offer him, but will agree to what he's looking for. So, again, it doesn't make sense for me to comment, for me to give quotes. He's going to make the decision, and you know, we're going to support him, what he wants to do. We had, you know, bringing him from September 1st, 2012 on HBO, his debut over here in the United States, where virtually nobody knew who Gennady Golovkin was. We had to call him Ggg just so people could understand his last name, to where he is now, you know, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, one of the most marketable fighters in the world. And with all the hard work, the sacrifice, the dedication, he's now at the top of the sport of boxing, and you know, he's going to decide what direction he's going to go into.
Do you think the Canelo third fight would happen in May or September? Is that likely?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, from our side, we believe he beat Canelo twice. So I don't think, look, it's going to be a great fight if there's a third fight. I know Gennady would like to get him in the ring again, but I think Ggg feels he doesn't have anything to prove against Canelo. If he beat him twice, then you know, he can move on to other fights. Although I know the fans would like to see a third fight. You know, any discussion I've had with Eric Gomez, a Golden Boy, they want to do a third fight. Gennady doesn't back away from anyone. He's one of the biggest punchers in the sport of boxing, and if a third fight happens, I think look, the second fight, usually a rematch isn't as exciting as the first fight. Canelo actually fought more aggressively, came forward, and that made it into a much more entertaining fight, much more exciting fight than the first fight, where he was much more defensive, because I think he was more afraid of Gg's power. You got to give Canelo credit, even though we felt that Ggg won the fight, or at worst got a draw. You got to give Canelo credit for fighting better the second time around. And I think the third fight might even be even more exciting than the second fight, which means the fans and everyone would be in for a treat if that fight happens.
All right, Tom, I know you got to go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much. Here with Tom Loeffler, I'm Marcos Villegas in Los Angeles for Fight Up TV.